back to Ride or Die Makeup. I put together a game day look. As some of you know, I am on the pit dance team. I'm repping right here. But I have gotten quite a few requests just from the dance team for a game day tutorial. So if you need any tips or tricks on how to accomplish a game day look, then keep watching this video. If you don't need any tips or tricks, then I hope you watch just for the fun of it. So the main thing that you want to accomplish with the game day makeup is to just make it dramatic. You want a big smoky eye so that people in the 500 section can see you from up there. And you just want to have enough face makeup on where you're not going to look washed out to the crowd. So this is the look that I do every single game day. It's just a very neutral colored smoky eye. This is mainly for my friends on the dance team, but anyone can use this look as an everyday smoky eye. So if you want to know how to accomplish this look, then keep watching. I hope you enjoy this video, and I love you all. For game day makeup, I like to start with my eyes because if you do your face makeup first and then your eyes after, you can get a lot of the fallout onto your face makeup and it could potentially ruin it, especially if it's darker. So I start with my eyes, and the first main tip that I have is to wing it out a lot. It looks better in general if you have a bigger cat eye look, but also especially if you have smaller eyes, if you bring the makeup out further, it can create a facade that you have a bigger eye. Also, it just looks nicer if it's winged out. You don't want to get washed out on the field, so you need to have a big winged eye going on. So the first thing I like to do is I like to create my line. You can do this with tape. I like to use translucent powder, so I am using the Kat Von D translucent setting powder, and then I'm using the Morphe E47. You can definitely use whatever you have. So I dip the brush in the translucent powder, and then I create the line that I want. Just like that. So you can use tape too, but I just like to use powder because at the end you can just swipe it away. It also creates a less harsh line if you use powder. I also like to bring it down a little further in case you do have fallout, then it drops onto that and it doesn't get onto your face. For this look, I'm going to be using the Jaclyn Hill Morphe palette. If anyone knows me, they know that I am absolutely obsessed with Jaclyn Hill. She is my idol and I just love everything that she has come out with. You can just tell that she put so much work into creating each individual color with the right texture, the right consistency, and she just put so much work into this, and I love it, and I respect her so much. So you can definitely use whatever you have though. You need mainly like neutral colors, browns, anything like that. You do want kind of a darker look because you don't want to get washed out on the field, so browns are preferable, but you don't want any crazy colors like no pinks, no greens, just neutral colors. So if you have the Jaclyn Hill palette, I am going to be using these first two shades right here, and I'm just going to be mixing them together. So I'm using a big blending brush. This is the Morphe M504, but any blending brush will work. I'm going to put this in my crease, and it's just acting as a base so everything else will blend smoother. So if you start on the end and just do windshield wiper motions in, also tiny circles, just blend that into your crease. You don't want to bring it up much further than your crease. You want to leave some space between your eyebrow and your crease. So just blend that in. And you're using this powder as a guideline, so you want to stop when you get to there. It'll catch anything that goes beyond, but you want to mainly stop when you get to that powder. And then it'll create a nice line. For what colors you do have, I used nudish colors, and it has like a tint of orange in it, but that's what looks best with my eyes. So whatever looks best with you, but you want to use more nude colors in the crease where you're starting your base. That way when you put stuff over top of it, it's going to blend into that, and it's not going to be overwhelmingly covering up the rest of the eye. So next I'm going to go a little darker, and I'm going to be mixing these two colors together. And I'm using a little bit of a smaller blending brush. This is the Morphe R37. So you want to start on the outer corner of your eye, and you don't want to go above your crease. You want to keep it low. So you're just starting on the outer corner and blending that in, and only blend it into either, it depends on your eye. If your eye's smaller, you want to keep it more towards the outside. If you have a bigger eye, you can bring it in close to the middle. That's pretty much where I blend mine into, is the middle. And then you also use this as your guideline. So I like to swipe it up along this line that I made to create that brushed out look. So little circles. I don't know if you're going to be able to hear it on camera, but Taylor is talking so loud outside in our apartment. I tend to brush it over just a little bit into the crease to blend it into that lighter shade. I don't bring it all the way into the corner of my eye, but I do like to swipe it over a little bit. So this will be the base of your smoky eye, pretty much. So any lightish browns that you have would work for this. I apologize if my mouth is open for half this video. I can't do my makeup without my mouth open. Once you have that initial base down, you're going to want to grab a darker brown color. So in the palette, I am using this shade right here. And I'm going to use that same blending brush that I was using, the smaller one. And I'm just going over that color. And each time you go over with a darker color, you still want to see that lighter color a little bit, so you don't want to go over as far. So you're going to start at the corner, and I'm only bringing it in a little bit. And also with darker colors, you want to create a fade out, so you don't want to go in dark with the outermost corner. You want to keep it just still on the lid, and then use the excess to just swipe back out. Also, if your powder starts to fade, I usually don't worry about it, but you can go in with more powder if you're worried about the line that it's creating. Also, I'm sorry if I'm not exactly facing the camera. I had to use so many random objects to hold things, like my viewfinder and my brushes and my mirror, because it's such a condensed space and I don't really have the best setup right now. After you have that, I'm going to go in with an even darker brown, and I'm just putting this on the very corner of my eye to create kind of like an ombre look. So I am going in with this brown right here. And I'm using an even smaller blending brush. This is the Morphe E17, just to get it on the very outer corner. You don't want to pick up a lot on your brush because you don't want to ruin what you already have. So just pick up a tiny bit. You can always go in for more. You can't erase what you already have. So go on the outermost corner, and I'm just going to blend that in a little bit in circle motions. You can also bring it down onto your lash line a bit. Sometimes I would do this if I wasn't going to use eyeliner, but for game day, usually eyeliner makes the look even better. But if you aren't a fan of eyeliner, you can use a darker shade and use it to line your lash line. It depends on whatever you like. So I'm gonna go in with a little bit more and just blend that out. Now I'm gonna go and put a really light cream color on the inner corner of my eyelid, just to make the outer corner pop more. So I'm using the Tarte palette, and I'm going in with Super Mom. But again, use any cream beige color that you have. And I'm just using a flat brush. It's by Sephora. So start mainly at the very inner corner, and you just want to work your way to the middle and blend it out just a little bit. It's okay if you get a little bit on the outer corner. I'm gonna go back in at the end just to blend it all out to make sure there's no harsh lines. And make sure you're blending that into your crease too, so there's not a harsh line where you put that initial base color. So I'm listening to music in the back. It's depressing music because I like depressing music. So I apologize if you can hear it and you're getting sad. I don't want to make anyone sad. Once you have that inner corner color in, it depends on if it's messed up at all. If you like the way it looks, keep it. I am going to go back in just with one of those lighter brown colors and just go back over one more time just to get rid of any harsh lines. I'm not going to put a ton on my brush because I just want to fix it a little bit. I don't want to create an even darker color. So just a little bit on your brush. Start at the outer corner again and just make sure you blend where those two lines were separated. Just like that. One more time, I'm just going to go back in with that deeper brown and just fix the outer corner a little bit. I'm just going to take my big foundation brush and I'm going to swipe away that powder. And as you can see, I created that cat eye look, but it's not as harsh as maybe tape would be. But anything you want to use is fine. And I'm just going to take that smaller blending brush again. It doesn't have any extra product on it. And I'm just going to blend that out a little more just to make sure there's no harsh lines there and to just bring it out a little bit further. Before even putting my eyeliner on, I'm going to put my face makeup on. I'm using a face primer. This is Mary Kay. You can use whatever face primer you want. You don't have to use one, whatever works best for you. I like using primer because I definitely can tell a difference when I have primer on versus when I don't. So I just use my hands to put this on. Sorry, my face is breaking out so bad right now, especially up here, because we have had such a stressful week of dance, as you all will know. I'm going in with my favorite foundation. This is the Dior Forever Foundation. It is so lightweight, and it covers up all my redness and discoloration. So I'm just going to put a couple pumps on the back of my hand. And I'm going to use my finger to just place that on. And this is darker than my skin tone right now. It's my summer shade, but I didn't get as tan as I thought I was going to get this summer. But for games, I spray tan, so this matches my spray tan color. And make sure you bring your foundation down onto your neck because you don't want a harsh line from your face to your neck. And I'm just taking my Morphe M439 brush, blend that all in. And just be careful around your eye not to mess up that line that you made. Next, I'm going to be putting a powder on top of my foundation to set it. This is the Kat Von D Translucent Setting Powder, just because I don't like to add any more color to my face. I just want to set the color that's already on there. And I'm using a big fluffy brush. This is the Morphe E41. And what I love about this brush is that you can get a little bit of product, and it goes such a far way. So I'm just setting that so it doesn't move anywhere. For bronzer, I am using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Powder Bronzer. It's in Rich Amber. And I'm using the Morphe R2 brush. I'm just going to start towards the middle of my ear. And I want to keep it, it's just a bronzer, so I don't want to contour it and go all the way down. I still do come pretty far, but I try to keep it up towards my ear. And then I also bring it down on my chin line, just to lighten up this area and make it stand out more and make a more defined face. And I'm bringing it up on my forehead by my hairline. I am going to contour my nose just a bit. I'm using this small contour brush. It's by Sephora. Then I'm going to go in with the Kylie Jenner blush. It's called Virginity. And I'm just using this Morphe M554 brush. It's kind of like a flatter brush. And I'm going to do my brows. I use the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Definer. It's just so easy to use because it already has like a diagonal shape to it. I filled in my brows and now I'm just going to go in with the Clear Brow Gel by Anastasia Beverly Hills. Just so they stay in place when that wind blows on the field. I'm finally going to do my eyeliner. I use the Sephora brand liquid eyeliner. I love this one because it is so dark, so black, and it goes on really smoothly. So it depends on your eye shape, okay? If your eye already curves up, you kind of have to follow your eye line, but mine don't curve up as much, so I like to make more of a straighter line out to make my wing, but whatever looks best with your eye will work. So I create more of a straight line out to the side, and then I take my brush from the middle of that line I drew and draw a line across my eye. It's okay if your eyeliner's not perfect because your fake lashes, which are highly recommended, will kind of cover it up so it doesn't need to be a perfectly straight line if you can't get it that way. Next, I'm going to do my under eye. I'm going to use the same lighter brown I used earlier, this one right here. You want to use one of the shades out here. If you want a darker look, use one of the darker shades. If you want a lighter look, use one of the lighter shades. For this, I'm going to use one of my medium ones, and I am using a tiny blending brush. This is the Morphe E18. And I'm just blending that under my eye. And then I am going to go in with that deeper brown that I used earlier, just a little bit on the brush, and I'm just going to put it on the outer corner of my lower lash line. So then I'm going to line my bottom lash line with the Maybelline Gel Liner. I like using a gel more than a pencil because I feel like a gel is just so much darker. I just feel like it creates such a clean bottom lash line. I put lashes on and mascara, and I use the Ardell Glamour ones. Those are my favorite pair because they are just very dramatic and big and will show up on the field so the people in the 500 section can see you and your beautiful eyes. I'm using the Anastasia highlighter. I don't know how to say it, so I'm not going to try, but it looks like this. And I'm using a small Morphe M506 brush, which is a really tiny brush, and I'm just using that to highlight the inner corner of my eye. I'm also going to use it to highlight my brow bone. I'm taking my highlighting brush, which is the Morphe M510, to highlight my cheeks. Same with the bridge of my nose. And then my Cupid's bow. I went ahead and put on the lipstick that we have to use, and this is the completed look right here. Game day makeup. I hope you got a few tips from this if you needed them. If not, then I hope you just enjoyed watching it, and I will see you on game day.